1995, Oregon. A hiker vanishes in the wilderness, sparking fears of a virus spreading from wildlife. In the woods, a hunter named Grady Lovell and his son Blake head to a hunting blind. Through his sniper scope, Grady spots a creature running but fails to hit it. His strict and overbearing nature creates tension between him and Blake, evident when he aggressively radios for help, making his son uncomfortable. 30 years later, Blake is married to Charlotte, and they live in San Francisco with their daughter, Ginger. While out in the city, Ginger jumps in front of a strange man who responds aggressively. Blake intervenes but snaps at Ginger in the process, causing her to cry until he apologizes. That night over dinner, he informs Charlotte that he has received an official death certificate for Grady, but when she talks about her job, he shows little interest. The next day, Blake visits Charlotte at work, admitting that their marriage feels strained and that they haven't truly connected with Ginger. He suggests they visit his father's farm for the weekend, having just received the keys to the place, hoping it will bring them closer as a family. The Lovells set off on a road trip to Oregon. Upon reaching the woods, they find the road abruptly ending. A man stands in the old hunting blind Blake used as a child. He climbs down and introduces himself as Derek, a local who knew Grady and remembers Blake. He offers to help guide them to the farm. As night falls, Blake drives until a creature on two legs runs them off the road, sending their truck tumbling down a hill where it gets caught in trees. Derek is thrown from the vehicle and injured. Blake helps Charlotte and Ginger escape. The creature smashes through the truck window, clawing Blake's arm before dragging Derek away to his death. Blake leads his family to the farmhouse and barricades them inside. While Blake turns on the generator, Charlotte tends to his deep, bloody wound. Shortly after, he notices his teeth falling out and experiences heightened senses, detecting even the faintest noises, including a spider crawling on the wall and the creature lurking outside. As he nears the door, the creature attempts to grab him through the doggy door, but Charlotte fends it off with a hammer. Blake's condition worsens, his vision distorts, and he can no longer comprehend Charlotte or Ginger when they speak. Struggling to communicate, he scribbles a note saying he feels like he's dying. His wound refuses to heal, becoming increasingly infected. Suddenly, he lunges at Charlotte in a frenzy before gnawing and slurping at his wound like a wild animal. Charlotte finds an abandoned truck and loads Blake and Ginger inside. Blake's teeth are now razor sharp, and his eyes have darkened with a soulless gaze. While Charlotte attempts to fix the engine, the Wolfman appears and smashes through the windshield, breaking off the gear stick. Forced to flee, they climb to the top of a greenhouse, with the Wolfman stalking them. As it tries to tear through the structure, Blake urges Charlotte and Ginger to escape before he charges at the creature himself. Charlotte and Ginger make it back to the house, where Blake soon returns, looking even more transformed. His head is nearly bald, but thick fur covers his body. He vomits up a severed finger, one belonging to the Wolfman. Ginger tries to reach out to him, but he no longer understands her, frightening his daughter instead. The Wolfman suddenly bursts in and attacks Blake. The two engage in a vicious battle until Blake rips out the creature's throat and feeds on it. As he examines the body, he notices a tattoo on its arm, realizing the horrifying truth. It's Grady. Staggering back, he retreats. Charlotte, having put the pieces together, explains to Ginger that Blake has inherited the same affliction from his father. Blake is now fully transformed, consumed by his primal instincts. Charlotte grabs Ginger and flees to a barn, but Blake follows, using night vision to spot them in the darkness. As he steps forward, he triggers a bear trap that Charlotte had set, giving her and Ginger a chance to escape. Blake chews off his own foot and continues his pursuit. Charlotte and Ginger climb up to the hunting blind with a rifle in hand. Blake follows, but Ginger, seeing him hesitate, insists that he just wants it to end. Charlotte aims the rifle, unable to pull the trigger until Blake lunges at her, forcing her to fire. Charlotte and Ginger climb down and sit beside Blake as he dies. The film ends with mother and daughter walking hand in hand, gazing out over the valley where Blake's father once took him. What do you think of the transformation arc in this movie? how it affects Blake's relationship with his family and his eventual fate. Like and subscribe. See you next time.